Emma, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I'm like reapplying my makeup. One moment.
You did a great job.
Am I doing good?
Yeah.
So happy. This is your very first talk show.
My very first.
But you're very good at talking. So this should be fun. This should be fun for you.
Yes, I hope so.
Can't wait. Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Picture this, a regular teenager from the Bay Area, sitting in her bedroom with a camera, talking to her audience about anything and everything. Fast forward a few years, and that same girl is sitting front row at the Met Gala, becoming one of the most talked about influencers in the world. So, how did Emma Chamberlain go from everyday vlogs to rubbing shoulders with fashion's elite, all while staying true to herself? Let's rewind and dig into the details of how Emma's authenticity, humor, and unexpected career choices have kept millions of people hooked. Emma was born in 2001 in San Bruno, California, and grew up in the Bay Area. She didn't have a glamorous start, no Hollywood connections, no fancy equipment. But what she did have was a fresh perspective. In 2017, at just 16 years old, she decided to upload her first YouTube video. And like many creators, her initial uploads didn't get much traction. But here's where Emma did something different. She didn't try to replicate what other creators were doing. Instead, she embraced a completely unfiltered, raw style of content that set her apart. So, why did this approach work when polished, curated content was the norm? Emma's early videos were filled with jump cuts, awkward moments, and unscripted humor. Her editing style became her signature, and it felt like you were watching a friend, not a YouTube star trying to be perfect. But that wasn't all. Emma wasn't afraid to poke fun at herself, to let the world see her flaws. And in an era where social media was all about carefully crafted personas, Emma's realness was refreshing. So it wasn't just what she was doing, it was how she was doing it. And people loved it. But Emma's rise wasn't just about being different, it was about timing. In 2017 and 2018, the digital landscape was changing. Viewers were starting to crave authenticity over perfection. They didn't want influencers who seemed untouchable. They wanted creators who felt like them, who made them feel seen and understood. And Emma gave them exactly that. She wasn't afraid to be weird, to be awkward, to show her bad days. But here's where it gets interesting. While other creators were carefully curating their lives for the camera, Emma was making hers feel completely unfiltered. Emma's humor and relatability weren't just surface-level traits, they were part of a larger cultural shift. Gen Z, unlike previous generations, values transparency and authenticity in the influencers they follow. They don't want to see someone who looks perfect all the time. They want to see someone who's real. And that's exactly what Emma delivered. But as her popularity grew, she didn't just stay in her lane. Emma knew that to stay relevant, she needed to evolve. One of the most interesting things about Emma's career is how she seamlessly moved from being an internet star to a fashion icon. In 2019, Emma started working with high-end brands like Louis Vuitton, an unexpected but brilliant move. It might seem like a contradiction, but that's where Emma's genius lies. She didn't change herself to fit into that world. She brought her personality into it. She wasn't trying to be someone she wasn't. She was just being Emma, but now in Louis Vuitton. You'd think that moving into high fashion might alienate her original fans, but the opposite happened. Emma managed to bring her followers along for the ride, making the fashion world feel a little more approachable and a lot less intimidating. What's the secret to making such a massive career pivot without losing your core audience? The answer lies in Emma's ability to stay true to herself. Even as she stepped onto red carpets and attended prestigious events like the Met Gala, she kept vlogging, kept sharing her thoughts on everyday life, and kept her sense of humor. But she wasn't just a YouTuber anymore, she was building an empire. And with that empire came new opportunities, including her very own business venture, Chamberlain Coffee.
But I really want to get into this and explain this to me, because you have your own coffee.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I love about it. You gave me a couple of samples earlier today, and I tried one because it's almost like mine was like it's almost like a tea bag, but it's coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a big cold brew person.
Yes.
That's your jam.
In 2020, Emma launched Chamberlain Coffee, a brand that was more than just a way to capitalize on her name. It was an extension of her personality. So many influencers launch businesses, but few of them feel as genuine as Emma's coffee brand.
And I also loved your animals that you drew on each bag.
Yes. We wanted it to be something that was like inviting, and to me, I've always loved cartoons, things like that, whatever. And so I was just like, let's do a character for each coffee blend so that people can like connect with something. You know what I mean?
Chamberlain Coffee wasn't just another celebrity product. It felt like a natural fit for Emma's laid-back, cozy vibe. Emma's fans didn't just buy her coffee because she was behind it. They bought it because it felt like a part of her world. She created a sense of community around her brand, one that felt inclusive and welcoming. But the thing that really sets Emma apart is her ability to keep evolving without losing that connection to her audience. Whether it's through her videos, her podcast, or her business ventures, Emma makes her followers feel like they're part of the journey. But with all of this success, how does Emma stay grounded? How does she handle the pressure of being in the spotlight while staying true to the person she's always been?
I would say my anxiety started at birth. I don't think a day has gone by in my life when I haven't been anxious.
Emma has been open about her struggles with mental health, burnout, and the pressures of fame. And that's another reason people connect with her so deeply.
You know, it's like when a lot of anxiety-inducing things happen to you and you already are just anxious baseline, it can become so overwhelming so fast because your resting position is being anxious. And then it's like you add on all this shit. It's like, oh my God, it's so much mentally to handle.
She doesn't pretend that everything is perfect all the time. She talks about the challenges she faces and how she's navigating life in the public eye. So many influencers try to maintain a facade, but Emma is different. She lets people in on the messy parts of her life too, and that vulnerability only makes her more relatable. But how does she continue to share her life with millions of people while protecting her mental health? The answer lies in balance. Emma has learned to take breaks when she needs them, to step back from the spotlight when it gets overwhelming. And she's not afraid to talk about it. In her podcast, Anything Goes, she opens up about the challenges of being an influencer, the pressures of constantly creating content, and how she takes care of herself. But even as she talks about these personal struggles, she keeps her audience engaged. So how does she strike that perfect balance between being vulnerable and still keeping her audience craving more? It's all about honesty. Emma doesn't sugarcoat things, but she also doesn't dwell on the negative. She's learned to share her experiences in a way that feels real, but still leaves her audience feeling uplifted. And that's the key to her success. Her ability to evolve, to grow, and to take her audience along for the ride. So, what's next for Emma Chamberlain? With everything she's already achieved, YouTube stardom, a successful business, a fashion career, and a podcast that reaches millions, what else is there left for her to do? The truth is, Emma's story is far from over. She's already changed the way we think about influencers, about content creation, and about what it means to be authentic in a digital world. But there's still so much more to come. And here's the thing. No one knows exactly what Emma will do next.
Give this video a thumbs up for try-on hauls.